time for all the fun that you normally have at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday. But we're an hour later, and I don't know why. I have two things going on in my lower thirds really quick. Hang on, let me turn one off. But ow, did I turn the right one off? Nope. Dip, bloop. Flibbity blop. Skibbly bloop. There we go. What's going on, everybody? This is Scott. And I gotta take this out. I mean, it's just way too much going on. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Technically Speaking Live. Usually 8 p.m., but I had something I had to do at 8 p.m., so now it's a 9 p.m. special. It's that late night edition, and when it comes to late night edition, the following program contains adult language. Viewer discretion is advised. Don't actually know if there's going to be any adult language, but I'm sure there's going to be some shenanery that is afoot because, as always, we do have Stats backstage. He's been drinking an espresso since 3 o'clock this afternoon and just chugging that sweet, sweet Memphis water. We have a very full slate of conversation tonight. We're going to talk about how Facebook has been sued. We're going to talk about a Sn8 Rocket that exploded everywhere. Going to talk about the new AirPod Maxes that are not pods, and I'm not really sure why they're called that. Talk about tech on the golf course because I put a tweet out earlier that talked about how much I freaking hate Bluetooth speakers on a golf course. Probably talk about some Google things, and Stats put something at the end of the show notes that we're not going to talk about. Not a chance, Stats. I see you giggling backstage. So with that being said, let's go ahead and bring Stats into the show. Stats.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Technically Speaking.
It's you, my friend. How you been? How you living?
Still lonely, still bored, still tired of isolation and COVID and quarantine and all this other bull honky that we've had to do with this year. But you know, all things considered, doing all right.
Well, good. I'm glad. We are. Gosh, do you know like Christmas is in like 16 days or some shenanery like that? How many days? Is
Yeah,
16.
Not a big fan of that.
16 days. Did you buy me something good?
Not yet, but I have a plan. I'm wavering. I'm wavering between two things.
A big bag of pickles.
Yeah, that's one. That's one. The other
big
one,
old bag of pickles.
The other one you would get a giggle out of.
Okay.
And then the other real one, I mean, the bag of pickles is happening regardless, but the other real one would last somewhere between 6 to 12 months, and I know you would enjoy it. So I'm debating right now. I have to check in with some of my guiding lights, and we'll figure something out.
6 to 12 months?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if it's food, 6 to 12 minutes max. Max. When it comes to that.
It is a type of food, and if you try to consume it all in 6 to 12 minutes, you might end up like that Sn8 Rocket. So we'll see.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go out to the comments real quick. I got yelled at by Miss Kathleen a little bit earlier, and Miss Sheila also not happy, but let me go ahead and just put this out here. Inside this glass is sweet, sweet, delicious Memphis water. The best water on planet Earth comes from Memphis, Tennessee. And so cheers to that.
Yeah, and you got 1.5 gallons of it today.
It's good. Oh, God, I love it so much. It's so good. My daughter loves it. She swears by it. Every night that she goes to bed, she puts up a huge like canteen and then takes it up into her bed and drinks the whole thing. And wakes up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to pee like a racehorse. Anywho, Miss Sheila, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming in. Digital Slang, my friend, welcome to the show. Tech Odyssey, I don't know, he's doing some other dumb thing right now. But I do want to talk about it. Big news. I want to talk about first the Sn8 Rocket, which is a big deal. We're going to talk about the Facebook thing here in a second as well, but I sent a video to stats earlier, talking about the Sn8 rocket. So effectively, what this rocket is, it was the prototype version of the spacecraft, and I'm going to use a pen to. This is the rocket. This is a rocket. It's currently up to spec. So the rocket itself would take off in 3 Raptor engines, not the dinosaur. This prototype was going to go 40-some thousand feet into the air. Almost said 40-some feet, like it was impressive. 41,000, yeah, 41,000 feet into the air, and then they were going to turn off the engines and allow the rocket to go belly up or belly down, so back up like this and float, and then proceed to go down like a skydiver, and then right towards the very end, flip into the vertical form, and then a rocket would shoot out of the bottom for it to land, just like you've seen with every other Tesla launch. When the engines come back down and land, they land vertically. Why this was a big deal was because this prototype, the Sn8, was prototyped to carry people, a shuttle, perhaps between Earth and the moon, and then ultimately it would be from the moon to Mars. So this was a big deal. The Sn8 is a really, really big deal. That is why I was so excited to watch it. And it ended with the Sn8 sacrificing itself effectively in the name of science. If you have not seen the video, I'll have you put the link in the description, put the link in the comments, so you can watch the Sn8 effectively explode when it landed. What happened was, I think one of the engines failed, because I was starting to watch it, and they had 3 engines, the 3 Raptor engines that were shooting straight down. The one engine that was closest to the camera that you could see inside never fired as it was coming back down. I don't know if it failed, if that was by design.
No, what I read is they had low pressure in one of the fuel tanks, so they could not get full thrust. And that's why right at the very end, it sat down super hard and burst something. And then it was a spectacular explosion, especially when they slowed it down on the replay.
So what it did is it came down far too fast this way, but it was not far off. I will tell you that. For having an engine failure, like it was probably way faster in actuality than what it looked like on television or watching on YouTube. I mean, it hit fairly hard down. And then it exploded. But the point is this is very similar to what the Tesla rockets, the Falcon 9s, have done in the past, because keep in mind, this is a prototype. But if they can start to get this is a tremendously huge leap in space travel, because now you could effectively shuttle between Earth and the moon and then back down and just shuttle back and forth. That's a huge deal.
What they're planning is what was launched today would be the very top of a multi-stage rocket.
Right.
So you would either put that on top of a 9, but they're actually building one that's even bigger called the Super Heavy or something like that.
The Falcon 9, that's Falcon 9 Heavy, aka my old nickname.
But anyway, the new booster rocket, which will be the first stage, I think I read when it's finished, will have 500,000 pounds of thrust at full force, which is orders of magnitude larger. It's orders of magnitude larger than anyone on this planet has ever built before. And the thing that astonished me, well,
literally,
it'll get you to orbit.
Quick.
It'll get you to orbit in moments. To the moon is still a little tricky.
It will literally go like this, straight up this fast.
The other thing that really astonished me is this was their first suborbital flight. So I think what counts as suborbital is anything above 20,000 feet. He said that by the end of next year, so literally 12 months, they plan on having one of those be in orbit, like all the way in orbit. And that's just
They move
astonishingly
They
fun.
move so fast, but we are probably, I would be willing to bet, in our lifetimes, we are going to. Would you, Bo? Do they not know you are in a show?
It's my parents.
I love your parents. I love that. Can you maybe
I'll take it off the table.
Let's say let's reach to your parents out real quick. Stats' parents. Can you tell your son to learn how to not put something that goes on a table?
Well, that was vibrate on the 4A.
I know.
The 4A is a brilliant phone.
It's got haptics like you wouldn't believe. Unbelievable haptics. Unbelievable haptics. Okay, so Mike is in the comments. A 747 has 63,000 pounds of thrust per engine, so approximately 250,000 pounds of thrust for reference.
Yeah.
And what did you say it was?
Well, I think the second link in our show notes said that the new booster stage will be 500,000 pounds.
And what Mike just said,
I don't know.
Twice the thrust and 15% of the weight.
Right.
Let me do twice the amount of thrust in a regular jet engine, like what we're accustomed to feeling. And then I'm going to cut 85% of the weight that we normally feel. You're going to go like that, like straight up. Mm-hmm. You'll melt into the seat. So I appreciate that, Mike, coming through with this in the clutch. And don't leave, Mike. I want to argue about Facebook.
Okay, so one last thing on this this SpaceX. So the Falcon 9 that they're using right now, the initial stage that pushes the satellites or the resupply capsules for the space station up into orbit, and then the secondary and tertiary stages take over. That Falcon 9 has a Merlin engine. It itself only has between 200 and 250,000 pounds of thrust. The one that fired today, if it is fully charged and carrying max fuel and operating at max output, that one we watched today is 500,000 pounds. That is just mind-blowingly cool.
Yeah, so this goes back into where I think in our lifetimes we are going to see something go to Mars and either come back or be able to go and be there permanently. I think we have this whole, we have to figure out how do we live on a planet and build the things. But I think we're going to figure out in our lifetime how to get things to somewhere like Mars to build a potential civilization. Does that mean that we're going to be living there? I don't know, but we're going to figure out ways in order to get the things by which we would need to build to have a sustainable society either on the moon or on Mars. That will probably happen in our lifetime.
Speaking of the moon, just before we went live today, NASA announced their selection of 18 astronauts to form the Artemis team, which will be the next group of individuals available to fly the first manned moon mission in my lifetime.
Man, would you go back to being would you want to be an astronaut?
Absolutely, yes, 100,000%.
Really?
Oh my God, yes.
Huh. That surprises me.
Flying is so cool. The ability to fly in 0G in space, I can't even imagine what that would be like.
How fast would that be? Like I could.
Well,
like,
I mean,
the problem is like you would
space station,
right, but you would
the
have
space station orbits the planet. Well, yeah, you don't have any
have a concept
because
of speed because it's all nothing out there.
Well, the people on the space station do because they orbit the Earth every 90 minutes. So you can literally see the Earth moving underneath you, and you get a sunrise every 90 minutes when you're on the space station because you come around the shadow of the Earth.
That's so weird.
I think I read the space station moves at like 19,000 miles an hour or something.
Huh. That's crazy to think about.
That's why space is awesome. Yeah, okay, so 4.76 miles per second.
I mean, that's quick. That's real quick.
I mean, that's That's basically from my house to your house in a second. Straight line.
Dang, that's dope. It's so cool to think about. Like when you think about it, it's just like, man, that's crazy to think about.
Yep.
What's going on in the comments? Look, okay. I just read the comments. I'm not getting into that. Like y'all talking about rocketry and stuff. Because that's far too much for my brain right now. So, with that being said, do you have anything else as it relates to that? I don't even know where my show notes are. Jesus Christ.
No, I think,
okay.
Of everybody who's trying to push for
faster than 5G. Nice. Digital Slang and we're on that same page. It's quick. It's a little faster than 5G.
a bit. No, I mean, I have loved everything about space. I'm a big science and science fiction nerd. So yeah, it's all cool. It's all awesome. I wish I could be a part of it, but I'm happy to be able to witness it. Much like our parents' generation was very happy to witness the Apollo missions and the original moon landings and things like that.
There you go. See, Mike already talked about it. I worked for the DOD in the Air Force my entire adult life. It's your passion. See, it's rocketry. I don't know that stuff. But what I do know is around what's happening related to Facebook. Today, Facebook was sued by 48 states. 48 states effectively by the FTC. Calling for Facebook to be broken up in a groundbreaking lawsuit, and it is a big deal. Now, Mike and I are going to go back and forth in the comments. I can already tell you this right now. And yes, right, here we go. This is actually a tremendously large deal for all tech companies, all very large tech companies, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Amazon, you name it. It is a really big deal. At the very core of what they're talking about, at the very, very core, it talks about the vast amount of data that Facebook has is what's really giving way to a lot of the problems that they're having. There is 3 billion users across its portfolio of apps at Facebook. So it's not just Facebook, the social media company that we've all kind of grown up to, like Facebook, meaning like from the social network movie. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. That's why this is a big deal. And no, it is a big deal. Not only a big deal if they lose. That is definitely not it. If you are a company, it's a big deal because they will continue to keep coming for you regardless of whether you win or not. They're just the next one that they go for. So if I'm a tech company, I'm concerned about that because it's just they're going after Facebook right now. Mine's probably going to be next.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't understand that comment. Users doesn't show the amount of data. So I don't know what that means. So you're gonna have to get clear on that.
He did. Read the next one.
Amazon through their AWS service holds more data than Facebook, and Microsoft has way more than Amazon. What's your point?
Yeah. So backing up just a second, I feel that Amazon is a really interesting, or not Amazon, Facebook is a really interesting test case because they started as one thing that did something, and they have grown so exponentially, faster than Amazon, faster than Google, faster than Apple, Microsoft, anybody else who's in that type of IT and social space. But aside from their user count, they are still much, much smaller than any of those other competitors, Google, Amazon, Microsoft. Well,
if you stop Microsoft, you shut off the internet.
That's what I'm saying. Facebook, that's what I'm saying. Facebook is much smaller, so it's an easier target.
But the sheer the volume of data that Facebook has. Now, Mike makes a comment in there that's saying Google has more specific data. Metadata is, look, you're going to talk to a data guy about this. I'm going to say this one time. I know more about data privacy than you think I'm going to get into, and I don't talk about it by intent. Facebook has a tremendous amount of data that you don't even know about because of the way that they have written the terms of their service. They get data that's not just Facebook. Let's be very clear about that. Now, they're not the only company that does that, but they get far more data that's not Facebook data than you think that they do. They get data from individuals who don't have Facebook because of the way that their users interact with it. And I can prove that one. So the idea is like Apple, it typically talks about getting data from individuals, but Facebook gets far more data than you're giving them credit for. And that data that they're getting isn't just metadata. That is actual individual data.
Yep.
And their API harvests data for everyone that links to Facebook and their contacts. And it's more than that too. This is a data conversation. They are calling for data. They are calling for Facebook to be broken up by way of Facebook interacting and hooking Instagram and WhatsApp and all their services together from an architectural perspective to where the decoupling them becomes a big problem for them. And they can come out and say, I can't do that because then it harms my business the way that they're doing it. But they have told you that Instagram is one way and they doesn't interact with Facebook data, and WhatsApp doesn't hook in and interweave itself to the data that's in Facebook or Instagram. That is a lie. That is a lie. That is a lie and a half. That is not how they have architected these things. I'm stating that the lawmakers will try. This is not equipped to even ask the right questions. The lawmakers are not the best thing, but they have to understand is the data that Facebook has access to. And the problem that Facebook has is they have not set a good precedent of being very good with data privacy, straight up.
And they are terrible about transparency when it comes to terms of service and things like that. They are notoriously one of the hardest ones to figure out. And then even if they give you a remedy to try to limit the amount of data that you capture, they make it so convoluted and so arduous to dig down through multiple levels of different apps or different services and down into the terms and conditions that most people give up before they get to the bottom.
And one of the things that they're talking about is the fact that Facebook will allow third-party developers to come in, use their Facebook service, i.e. like a marketplace, and say, cool, come in and use our service, become integrated with the Facebook service, based their business upon a lot of the things that they get from Facebook. And then Facebook finds out that they're actually probably a competitor by the way that they're using the data. And then they cut them off. You don't get that.
The same thing.
You don't get that Facebook data anymore. You can't do that.
Yeah, it's the same thing that Amazon started doing a couple of years ago when they made the Amazon preferred picks or things like that. Amazon Amazon was one of the first places that a lot of small individual creators used to get their products national and international recognition and to be able to ship and things like that. And now Amazon will go to a factory somewhere else in the world, make the exact same product for half the price, and then sell it on their website and undercut the other people. And the small little guy, who makes soaps in his backyard down the street can't compete anymore because Amazon can ship 1 million products.
And this is one thing I'm going to pull up. He says this really well. Like that controversy, Mike, that you talk about, ready for controversy. Apple's is less transparent than any publicly traded company that has PII of yours. I know where you're going with that comment. I definitely know where you're going with that comment. People can, here, let me put it this way. Data is legitimately, it's been coined as the new oil, right? Data is, in fact, so valuable, there are not enough zeros, and every company is desperately trying to grasp all the data about you that it can possibly get by any means necessary, some malicious, some not malicious. And Apple is no different there. Neither is Google, neither is Facebook, neither is any of these companies, right?
Right.
But it's about what they're doing with the data, and if they're transparent with what they do with the data, that's one thing. Amazon, not necessarily the most transparent, let's be real, but it's very clear what they're doing with your data. They are building a profile on you to get you to buy crap from them.
Right.
That's what they do. Like, I have said this time and time again as a great conversation piece. You go to Amazon and you buy a thing, and then Amazon's like, people who bought this thing also bought this other thing. Right? And you're like, I don't want the thing. I don't need the thing. The algorithm's stupid. It's broken, right? 3 days go by. You buy the thing. That's what happens. They have built a profile. Somebody like you, white male, age 30 to 45. I did not give my age away there. by intent. White male.
If anybody in the comments wants to know it, text me.
White male, age 30 to 45. That's overweight, wears these size pants, lives in this zip code, has a profile that says he likes to golf, likes tech, and like they just go through the litany list of things. All, by the way, powered through an algorithm that does this instantaneously. Oh, somebody fits this profile? Well, other people who fit this profile also bought this other crap. This other crap is tangentially related to this thing that he bought. Here, serve him this thing, which then, by the way, gets served completely across the internet. Like, you go to those pages where you're like, hey, I saw you buy a thing on Amazon. Here's this other crap thing that you said you didn't need 3 days ago. You're bombarded through ads to buy the thing that you didn't think you needed, and then you buy the thing. That's all by design. All by design. That's how the data works. They build a profile to offer you some service. That's what happens. If you are an Android user and you use, and I know for a fact that when I say this, people are going to be like, oh yeah, I kind of always noticed that. Like, when you use your phone, you open up your phone. If you are a Pixel user, open your phone right now, slide up from the bottom where your app drawer is, and find the first 5 apps that's at the top. And there's a reason why this time of day, those 5 apps show up. And it's because you are more likely to press those 5 apps. And it knows that inside the algorithm to show you that, yes, it knows that at 9:30 at night on Eastern Standard Time, you typically go and open up this app. I'll bet you it's a social media app.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
My top two never changed because I'm on the same 2 apps all day, every day. But,
Right.
you know.
And that's the thing. And it's a perfect example of, again, some people get into the mindset of, oh, well, clearly, like, the Google Assistant, I thought it was listening. Well, it's always listening, but, or Siri or Alexa are always listening because I was in a room and I didn't mention anything to this person. I never searched it on my phone. Then I said the word golf, and all of a sudden I'm getting served with a golf ad. No, that's not how it works. How it works is the fact that that app that you have on your phone collects data about you. Oh, by the way, the terms of service that you agreed with, if you're in a room with somebody else who also happened to agree with certain terms of service, you get to share bits and bytes of information, because guess what? You allowed them access to your GPS, which means that they can get in close proximity to the fact that you were close, which means you don't actually have to say anything, but you gave all of the data that it needed to serve you that ad strictly because you were standing in the same room. That's how it works. Data. Digital slang, I swear. Man, I'm going to tell you what. Digital slang gets me every time. Who would use a pixel, bro? I'll cut you. Nothing but love, brother. Nothing but love. Michael Daniels, thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Man, 20, I appreciate you, brother. Oh, my goodness. What is all this pixel hate that is flowing through right now? Michael Russi. Russi? Please tell me if I said it wrong. Michael Daniels, I feel you, bro. I feel you. I am ready to get back to using a Pixel. If you have the Samsung A5100, highly recommend going with the Pixel 4a. You can pick yourself up for $350. Sell that A51 for like $175. Go double that money and go buy yourself a Pixel A.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Um, data is really where it's at. This lawsuit is all about the data. Like they can call it, you know, anti-competitive and monopoly. It's because of the data is the problem. Facebook can get away with consuming all of this data, and that's what's giving it its power. And there was a comment in there to talk about like the attorney from Facebook said it was like offering the greatest service or something, like the best service. And I was like, the best? It is. Oh, the best value. That
Debatable.
was it. The best value. There. It's not the best value. It's value, and the value is because there's a lot of eyeballs on Facebook. That's the value. They give you access to the multitude of millions of individuals that are on Facebook. You can insert yourself into Facebook Marketplace and sell your goods. They're allowing you to do that. But when you do that, what are you doing? You're giving, if you are not paying money, you are the product. You are the product. Your data is the product. And they make a whole hell of a lot more money with your data than you do. I assure you of that. Because we're not in a society, we're not in a country that allows you to monetize your own data, which is a whole other thing. I agree with you, Mike. We should be like, that's my biggest point of frustration is like when it comes to anything, when a government agency, when it talks about data privacy, I wish they would bring in experts to where we could be like, let me ask you the real question because like I know what you're getting at. And then you have people like Zuckerberg that stand up there as like, Senator, I don't know. I'll have to get back with you on that. I got to check with my team. Dude, we know you know the answers. We also know that you're not going to perjure yourself. I understand this. Miss Shelley, thank you so much. Shelley slays the day. An incredible creator. Super glad she popped in. One of the greatest eCam people in the history of the world. The best vertical video creator in the history of ever. Go check out her channel. Yeah.
I mean,
anyway.
Tech 702, you've got a couple of good points, but I hope at some point that either our generation will make it onto enough of these subcommittees or will be brought on as experts to testify on some of these subcommittees to prove attempt to prove the government's case against these giant media conglomerates that are good, bad, or otherwise really controlling a lot of the information that we consume on any given day.
But let me say this much. Give me the power of choice. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth. Ready?
You do it every day.
I do it every day. I'm okay with giving you my data. You're giving me something in return. Google Maps is a perfect example. I don't have to pay for a TomTom. Do they still have those?
I'm sure they're out there somewhere.
Okay, so I don't have to pay for that service. I'm getting a lot of things by using it. Apple's the same way. It's like I have an iPhone here. I'm getting a lot of things by this phone, which is totally fine. And I'm willing to allow you to do some certain things with my data by which I'm using your service. What I'm asking you to do is I'm entering into a relationship where you need to be a good steward of my data on behalf of me because I'm allowing you to use that data. But what I also want to know is what are you doing with my data? Who are you sharing it with? What's the intent of sharing that data? When you're consuming data from other, like when I download an app, are you also going out and trying to farm data from some of my contacts? Give that to me, by the way, in plain English. Don't make me search through pages upon pages of terms of service and some weird legalese that I don't understand. The average consumer does not understand that. A lot of attorneys don't understand that, and they write them. So my ask to companies is this. Let's make it simple for the consumers to know exactly what you're doing with their data, and if they don't want to do it, let them out.
Right.
That's it. And that's the basis of a lot of these. That's the basis of a lot of these data regulations. That is the
and
basis
then
to
actually
say.
follow through with it.
Yep.
If a consumer opts out, have an auditable ability for the consumer then to follow up and make sure that the company themselves is not tracking them.
Sorry, my foot itches. So I don't know what Mike is saying.
He's talking about something we brought up, a couple of months ago or a couple of years ago at this point, that at some point we, the producer of the data, should have the right to A, determine who gets it, B, determine what they do with it, and then C, be compensated for it.
Oh, I mean, the compensation of the day thing, it's coming. It's a matter of, is like, but then you're going to get into like the weird market of like, well, what's valuable, right? Like, I agree that it's coming, but there's still some hurdles that they're going to have to go through to get this. Hello, Sharky, Sharky 165. For me, it's a matter of, I want to be able to know, what are you doing with it? Who are you sharing it with? Why are you sharing it with them? Can you obfuscate the data? Can you tokenize the data to where it's not my data? It's just some random pile of data. Does it have to specifically be me? Probably not. But if it does, then we'll get there. Like, if it has to be that, then I have questions. Anyway, I digress. We have beat the horse of data privacy. More to come on this, but this is really, for me, the way I look at this lawsuit is really centered around the fact that it's data. That's where it is. It's like the data that they're collecting, they cut some people off. They're not allowing certain things to thrive because of, you guessed it, Facebook wants that data because it's valuable. It makes them money, and a tremendous amount of it. Sweet mother of God.
So our next topic, which
can't wait.
I'm sure will spin certain individuals, like our good friend of the show, Kathleen Garrity, into a tizzy. Late night.
Switch the topics now. Give me that topic. Lay that topic down, stats.
So Apple announced a new set of AirPods that aren't AirPods because they are actual full-size headphones that go over your head and over your ears. And I found two articles with headlines just before the show that I really, really want to get out there. So the first one, Apple's new headphones cost about half of a Peloton bike.
Wow.
And we know that Kathleen is a Peloton queen, so she should get a giggle out of that. And then from our good friends over at Sn8, Apple AirPods Max Smart Case, which, of course, Apple can't just sell you the thing.
Okay,
they have
hang
to sell
on a
you
second. I need you to English that for me again. What? Apple's what?
AirPods Max. So Apple AirPod Max.
So the big headphones.
Smart Case. Yeah.
Got it.
They're already building and making peripherals, but according to Sn8, looks like an over-the-shoulder boulder holder.
So it's like a bra.
Yeah, pretty much.
It looks like a bra. So
it'll look like a sports bra.
Okay, so admittedly, I love headphones. I have a lot of headphones.
You do.
A lot of headphones.
$550 headphones, though.
And here's my thing, is like, I actually don't have an issue with paying a premium price tag for a premium product.
Right.
And so there's here we go. I'm gonna see if I can back myself into a corner to look like a total a-hole.
Great, love it.
There's multiple tiers of the word premium. Premium is fairly subjective. Headphones, when I look at headphones, like here's a perfect example. I have the original AirPods right here. When I look at this, one of the things that I'm going to talk about in my reviews and when anything at all related to headphones is a premium feel. It's got to have a premium look. It's got to have a premium feel. Otherwise, it's
not worth a premium price.
It's not worth a premium price. So there is no doubt it's going to look. It looks very premium. I'll bet you it feels very premium. Apple does not make products that don't aesthetically look and feel premium for the most part. They do have every once in a while some whiffs arguably the majority of the time, they look and they feel premium. I actually don't have a problem with an expensive pair of headphones. Excuse me. I don't have a problem with
No, if
headphones being expensive.
yeah, if
What
you're
I will have
you're
a
somebody
problem with,
who's
what I'll
yeah,
have a problem with is if they are not good headphones. Like they had
right.
better be very, very good headphones. And again, they had better look, feel, and sound premium. And I mean, they had better sound $500 worth, because you can go out and get some very premium looking, feeling, and sounding headphones that are half the price.
Well, yeah, the same article says the Bose noise canceling headphones dash 700, $340. The Beats Studio 3, $350.
Beats. Okay.
Agree. But here's the thing, and we talked about this a little bit before the show. When the Beats first came out,
Digital slang truth. They better let me hear God.
so digital slang, the comment I made to myself when I read this article was they better make it sound like I'm standing 5 feet from the stage at Woodstock when Jimi Hendrix was playing the Star Spangled Banner. For $550, that's what I want. But I think, Scott, you hit the nail right on the head, because when the Beats first came out, it was, oh my God, this is so awesome. Look, one of the world's top MCs is using them. He came out, he created with them, and everybody wanted them. They were a status symbol until somebody took them apart and realized that they actually took about $8 to make because they used really crappy components in those first gens, but they were still charging $300 for them. So again, I, like you, if it's truly worth my time, effort, energy, and money, I have no problem spending whatever amount of money is required to get something that I want. But if I buy it and it doesn't live up to the expectations, or it is found out later to be made so cheaply that they are truly just blatantly ripping off the customer, then you've lost my business forever. So
and digital slang talks about it like the active noise cancellation. Here's the deal, straight up, the expectations for a $550 pair of headphones. There's a wide variety of headphones. So like in my ear right now, I have a pair of in-ear monitors, right? This allows me to hear everything with its truest amounts of clarity. Over here is a very cheap pair of wired Apple headphones that just come with a phone. These right here,
used to.
Right, they used to. These right here do not sound anywhere close to the quality of these in-ear monitors, but they are also not even close in terms of price either. These in-ear monitors were like $350. These things right here were free with a phone 4 years ago, right?
Right.
Or $30 in store, which is $20 too much, because these do not have good quality, but they're good enough in a pinch. For $550, in a pinch isn't in my vocabulary. It better be Jesus Christ is talking to me. That's how good they should be. That's what it should be. And the active noise cancellation better be the best active noise cancellation, because you can go get a pair of Sonys that have baller noise cancellation. And I mean really good, top of the line, and that do not cost that. They had better be very good.
Reading farther down into this CNN article, they say noise cancellation, but they don't claim how much. Built-in Siri capabilities.
It better be well, hang on. When I put the headphones on, if my kids are screaming, I had better not hear it.
Right.
That's how good that noise cancellation needs to be.
Agree. Built-in Siri. Google's had that for 5 years.
That's table stakes. Look, the built-in assistant's table stakes.
Now, where they might hook somebody like you, they're claiming or promising, according to this article, 20 hours of battery life.
Oh, they better. They had better. You had better be able to figure out how to do battery life like that. I want the active noise cancellation. And then here's the thing they're going to get caught at. It's 20 hours, not active noise cancellation on, though. If you really want to
Probably
get
not.
me 20 hours of active noise cancellation on, that would be crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. Crazy. What's up, Ivan? Welcome to the show, my friend. Retethered, what's up? What's up? What's up? Michael Rusi, yes, we have talked about JBL products. JBL products are great. They are really good. They make some dynamic Bluetooth speakers. Great pair of headphones too. Several different pairs of headphones. But man, oh, that's 20 hours with ANC. Like I feel like that has to be table stakes too. That's 20 hours with ANC, which should tell me what is it, like 38 hours of just regular non-ANC. Look, they had better be super clear. What I really hope, and I haven't, in fairness, I haven't researched the way that I should. They had better have been working with people that are like the number one or top 10 audio engineers in the game to make these headphones sound the best ever.
It'll be really interesting, and I will Digital Slang, if you're going to do a live show or put something out, I will definitely be interested in checking that out.
I'm straight up I can't wait until he does a review. I cannot wait. I'm super interested in your review on that. I really am. I did not buy them. I will not be buying them because they're $550.
Oh, and that is
Straight
not one
up,
of my
like,
presents for you.
I didn't think it's not one of my presents. Period. Like that's a really expensive pair of headphones. Like I wear my Pixel Buds every day. I use these things like every
day.
I take calls. Like these things get a workout. I bet you I could probably kill this battery in a couple days, and I keep it on a charger most of the time. But yeah, I use my Pixel Buds all the time. I'm not much of I go through different types of feel of over the ear or not. Like I typically wear something like this all the time.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, but my ears
it's so
get
hard
tired.
for you. Well, it's so hard for you for over the head headphones because it would mess up your beautiful.
No, so like on the
Pro Hawk there
on my what?
The Pro Hawk.
Yeah, I put the headphones back here on the back of my head, and then like salk them around. I look ridiculous, but somebody's gonna take that out of context too. I can't wait. My daughter calls my hair.
Where's Larry when you need him?
I know. My daughter calls my hair the homawk. Yeah. I have a homawk.
Oh.
Not a mohawk, a homawk. So she has she calls it a homawk. This is not a forehead. This is a top head.
Mm.
And she calls her backpack her pack.
Hey, that works.
Yeah, she's a good kid. But yeah, Retethered Tech. I can't wait to laugh at people working out with the AirPod Maxes. I actually got to be like, can we also come up with the fact that I think the name's really poor?
Yeah.
It's not a pod. Like, this is a pod. That's a pod. A pod that goes in my ear. This is
a pod usually denotes something that is singular versus, I mean, it is one singular device, but it has two. That's why Apple AirPods, plural,
but the
AirPod Max.
But they can't call them well, I guess they could have called them the Air Maxes, but no, they couldn't because that's Nike.
That's Nike. Yeah.
You can't call them the Pods Max.
Hey, Studios. I like where Digital Slang's going with this.
Yeah, the Studios were better. Like
Apple Studios.
The Studio Maxes. That would have been a great name. But the AirPods Max is such a stupid, like, why? It's not a pod. The iPod wasn't a pod. But it was the first of its kind. The iPod. I do like the idea of the sport version, but the sport version should also be able to make sure I hear God. Straight up, like that's the way it is. Yeah, Apple can call them whatever they want, and people will still buy them. 100% agree with that. What else do we have on the list?
Absolutely. As far as topics or bashing Apple?
I mean,
Tech on the golf course.
okay. I made a tweet about this. I despise Bluetooth speakers on a golf course. I can't stand it. I can't stand. Look, I like tech on a golf course within reason. I think people who wear the Apple Watches on their wrists is great. That means you can walk right up to where your ball is, look at your wrist, know exactly what the distance is to the hole, make your shot accordingly. It's seamless. It's a great experience. I don't do that because I can't golf with something on my wrist,
right?
Because that's weird to me.
Well, same thing with a rangefinder that you keep in your bag or a GPS app on your phone.
Love all of that. Love
something that is directly related to the game and can help average, or in our case, below average golfers attempt to play a little bit better.
You and I are pretty good. Let's don't bring me down. Like, we're pretty good, man.
Well, you've come a lot closer to breaking par than I have. Let's put it that way.
True.
But I agree with you. Things that are directly related to the sport that you're playing, great, bring it on. Advancements in technology, everything like that. I mean, there's a reason we're not hitting persimmon-headed drivers out there. But something, and even a Bluetooth speaker, if you want to keep it really low to only where the people in your cart can hear it, or if you want to wear headphones while you're playing golf, go ahead. Yes. But I go out to the golf course to play golf, maybe drink an adult beverage, and hang out with my boys.
Yeah.
I don't go out there to listen to somebody else's bad taste in, mid 1970s American music.
Drives me crazy because what they do is they put the volume as though they're 57 yards away from their cart, but they're 2 feet from it.
Right.
And I can hear it 11 holes across the way. Look, Leonard Skinner's fine. I don't care. It's okay. Keep it in your cart. Keep it within like a 10-foot bubble, right? Keep it there. 10-foot bubble, I'm totally fine with. I love the rangefinder. I love the apps on the phone. It makes me a better golf. The experience is great. I do wish that sometimes, like, and we're guilty of this. It's like, well, how far are we? How far are we? Oh, well, this is how far we are. Like, I wish there was a way to speed that up a bit. But hey, I digress. It is what it is. But the Bluetooth speaker thing, Jesus, I just can't do it. And digital slang, you don't want that smoke, sir. Let's do it. Peachy, Speechy. That is my username on Xbox. You do not want the smoke, sir.
Let me ask you this question. Did you in the past, or do you still have a Twitch channel?
No. Well, I do, I guess.
I was going to say, hook you and digital slang up and broadcast it live.
He doesn't want that smoke.
Trash talk. 100%.
I said what I said.
I will bring a Bluetooth speaker and I will provide commentary.
I will choke you out. Here's what we'll do is I will do a live. I'll go live. I would do that. Sending requests now. Well, I mean, obviously I'm not there, but yeah. Okay. All right. When you see, so I will say this is like, there's going to be times in the afternoon that it'll say that I'm on. I'm not on. So it's my son either playing Farming Simulator or Forza Horizon 4. Just throwing that out there. I'm not doing that live now. Man, come on. It's 9 o'clock. I turn into a pumpkin at 10.
It's 10 o'clock. Almost.
Whatever. I don't know what it is. Somebody else, have you ever used the Extreme Battery in Pixel devices? I have. It shuts down a lot of stuff. Like, the screen goes very dim, and you can go a long time with it. That would be one of those situations where it basically shuts off all like refreshing of apps and things unless you have it open. Great if you needed to go camping or something like that. Totally worth it. I don't keep it on all the time, obviously, because I'm close to some sort of charger, but it would be a great situation if you had to use it for a long period of time.
Yeah, when I did that big bike ride back at the beginning of October, I wish I would have remembered to turn on battery saver, because for like the last 10 miles, I had to turn off my GPS just to make sure my phone was still on at the end so I could take a picture.
Mm-hmm. Buckeye Bullnose. That's not a personal attack, man. No, it's just like I have no problems with people rocking the speaker. I have a problem with the volume. Okay, so I take that back. I do have a problem with people rocking the speaker only because they don't know volume control.
Yeah, they don't control the volume. Yeah.
Control the volume. That's all I care about. You can definitely have one on there, but and we play Muni courses. When we pull up, there's a lot of times like the tee box in the green for one of the holes. Like I'll be on hole number 6 and the tee box will be on hole 5. Turn the volume down. Just have a little common courtesy. That's my thing. You know how to do the volume thing. Just turn it down when you're putting. Turn it down when someone's trying to hit a shot. Look, I like Tennessee Whiskey too, the song, but I don't need to hear it at 11.
Right.
Turn it down. That's it. That's all I care about. And by the way, what I should do, this is what we should do. You want to really anger people. Let's take that soundbox speaker. The one
I was going to say
the soundbox speaker that you can hear from 400 yards away.
We can use my towing straps and mount it to the top of the cart. Yeah. I like this idea.
Like I'm telling you what, they don't want to mess with me. Like I will literally pull up next to somebody and I will crank that thing to legit 11 and it will drown out their voice.
Yeah.
I will drown them completely out because I ain't having it. They'll learn real quick that they need to control Leonard Skinner and Tennessee Whiskey and Chameleon Air and all that other jazz. I ain't having it.
Well, we did test that speaker on a 400-yard hole on a golf course. So
we did, and you could hear it. In fairness, it was in the middle of winter. It was in the middle of winter. Like from 100 yards, there's no question. You're making out every word.
Oh yes, quite.
I know we need to bring that Abratech out.
Is that the cylinder one?
That's the cylinder one.
Yeah. That one's nice. I like that one. It's much easier to move around.
Here you go. Because active noise cancellation is so good. Retether Tech, you had a pair of them AirPod Maxes, you wouldn't be able to hear anything. that ANC is so good. So good.
Top level.
Top level ANC. Better be. I'm going to tell you what. Jesus Christ himself's better going to be ANCing in them headphones. All right, man. We've been here for an hour. Let's get out of here because we got to work tomorrow.
We have. Yeah, a little bit.
Where can they find you?
I am at Helix Heinlein on the Tweet Machine and at Country Smith on the Instagrams, at least for temporarily until Zuckerberg gets shut down.
Man, I'm going to tell you what. I do love me some Facebook, or Facebook. I do love me some Instagram.
No
Facebook. No. Love me some Instagram, hate me some Facebook. But you can find me on the Instagram at the Scott Peachy, on Twitter at Scott Peachy. Come over and fight with me there. Digital Slang and I will be. Oh man, he's just the subtle digs right at the very end. It's right at the very end. I'm surprised the Pixel works out there on the course in the real world. Man, I'm gonna tell you what. Ooh, I'll have to break out my Turtle Beach headphones. That way we can just talk that smack. And then here's the thing. He's going to come out and just absolutely just smoke me. He's going to come out there and absolutely smoke me. And he's going to come to a live show and be like, oh, you talking about all that smoke. And I'm going to deserve every minute of it. That's fine. Every minute of it. All right, man. We got to go to work tomorrow. Boy, I don't want to do that either. But hey, nothing against work. This year has just worn me down to a nub.
Yep.
I'm exhausted. All right, y'all.
All right,
be good.
We're a couple of steps away from home plate. We're almost there.
We're in the final countdown. Final countdown. Where's the final countdown? Wait, I think I have music on, don't I? Yeah.
That actually cut in really well.
Did it really? Nice.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Hey. See you next week, y'all. Be good or be good at it.
Wear a mask.
Please. Hey.